Don't miss any content. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell.
Welcome back to Sahara Football. As usual, I am your host, Selassie Piaway. So over the past few weeks, I have been talking to you about some issues concerning Coach Kwesi Appiah and his unsettled monies. We have made some headway in that process, and the sports minister Kwesi Appiah yesterday, in his address during the COVID-19 easing of restrictions in terms of sports, addressed that issue. We'll have a listen to what he said. We're also going to talk about Abedi Pele. He denies any rift with YEBOAH in the 1992 African Cup of Nations when he gave the captaincy. When he gave the captain's armband to Anthony Bafo instead of YEBOAH in many people's eyes. That was not the right call, and he says there were rumors, at least, that there was a bad blood between Abedi Pele and YEBOAH. Yagola, he has cleared the air on that in an interview and says that there is no bad blood between them. Also, sticking with Abedi Pele, he says that he identified Gyan as an amazing striker even in his younger years before he started making the waves and overcoming his 33 goals and making it 51 goals for the national team in 109 matches. However, he says that Gyan could have done way better. As usual, if you're new to the channel, I advise you to subscribe to the channel and to click on the notification bell to get more updates. I'll start off from the camp of Coach Kwesi Appiah. Now, Coach Kwesi Appiah, we all know, was the coach of the Black Stars in 2 stints, and the recent one ended in 2019. His contract was not extended. Now, there have been so many talks about Coach Kwesi Appiah's unpaid salaries by the FA, by Coach Kwesi Appiah himself and his representatives, and so many other stuff. He has not been paid his arrears for the 2 years during the contract that was in 2017 out to 2019 April. He has been settled. That's according to the sports minister. Yesterday, in a meet the press of salt on COVID-19 and easing of restrictions and allowed sports, he addressed that issue when it was asked by a journalist in the stand. Initially, that question was not allowed, but the sports minister addressed it and answered. Let's go have a listen to what he had to say with respect to Coach Kwesi Appiah and his unpaid salaries.
But let me assure you that Coach Kwesi Appiah has done a lot for Mother Ghana. I have huge respect for that gentleman. We have nothing against him. We, through the FA, contacted him, gave an appointment. We all fully supported him in all the assignments he engaged in. As a minister, I had a direct instruction from the president, give him full support, which I did. All the support I did. So we provided all the support to him. We gave the contract for 2 years. For the 2 years, we don't owe him a peso. We paid everything. There was a contract extension. If that one, we paid about 3 months or so. Let's about 3 months. So it's not that we have been so disrespectful to the gentleman, and we have been uncared. Not at all. No. We've shown care, concern to the gentleman. We've given that respect as a Ghanaian. That respect. When I became minister, Abraham Grant, we owed him at that time. Gradually, we resolved it and paid him off. So I can assure the nation that gradually we shall pay Kwesi Appiah all his entitlements. I can assure you. We love him as a Ghanaian. He's one of our own. We can never do anything against Coach Kwesi Appiah. He's done a lot for Mother Ghana. We respect him. We call him Maile. We respect that gentleman. He's a gentleman, so we all respect him.
So there you had it there from the horse's own mouth, the sports minister of the Republic of Ghana, Mr. Kwesi Appiah, in clarifying that yes, Coach Kwesi Appiah will be paid. It's left with approximately 4 or 3 months of monies that he is owed, approximately over $180,000. He will be paid eventually. They had the same issue with Avram Grant, and he will definitely be paid. They cannot go on without paying him, and I think it is right that he cleared the air on that. Now, Coach Kwesi Appiah's spokesperson, after this press conference, is relieved now and is assured now that he will be settled his arrears by the sports minister. Now, the relieved Kwesi Appiah is confident that his arrears will be settled after the sports minister's assurance. Now, there has not been any comment on this, and that is what was bothering Coach Kwesi Appiah. They were not telling him anything whatsoever concerning his salaries. Now, the former Black Stars coach James Kwesi Appiah, is now relieved after assurances from the sports minister that salaries owed him will be paid according to his spokesperson, Mr. Asante Foko. Now, it will be recalled that the erstwhile gaffer of the senior national team, the Black Stars, registered his displeasure and frustration or the lack of respect showed him in relation to unpaid salaries. Now, the usual cool, calm and collected, soft-spoken tactician was forced out of his shell due to the unusual delay in the settlement of his salaries. But after the sector minister aimed his address to the public on easing of restrictions in sports, it is certain Kwesi Appiah will be paid. In an interview with Kumasi-based Fox FM, Mr. Asante Foko, who is a spokesperson of Coach Kwesi Appiah, welcomed the message delivered by the sports minister. He explained, "I think the minister gave a good message. This is what we have been waiting for, just to get an assurance Coach Kwesi Appiah would be paid. It is a welcoming message from the minister. We are relieved, just that there are no timelines given for the payment." When asked about the proposed third letter reminder to the GFA, Mr. Foucault iterated that they have not sent a third letter because they had discussions with some officials and were waiting for assurance, just as the Youth and Sports Minister has done over here. So, Kwesi Appiah, no worries, man. You will be paid. You will be sorted out. The sports minister has said as much. The spokesperson has said Kwesi Appiah is happy and relieved by that news. Who wouldn't be? His salaries will surely be sorted out, and we're happy this chapter is coming to an end. We need to settle him, and let's move on from Coach Kwesi Appiah to my next story. It's about the AFCON 92 game in Senegal tournament, in which Ghana almost made it a 5th African Cup of Nations title, and confusions with captaincy issue was the reason why most people think we could not win the tournament. It started with Kwesi Appiah, who was then the captain of the Black Stars, who was stripped of the captaincy ahead of the tournament. He was told that he could not speak French. I have given an in-depth analysis into that tournament up here, and that they needed to have a French-speaking captain since they were going to Senegal. Kwesi Appiah was baffled by that news because there had been other tournaments in which he was the captain, in which he could not speak the foreign language. An interpreter was fine. He didn't have any qualms with anyone. He gave up the captaincy to Abedi Pele. Fast forward to the tournament in 1992, and Abedi Pele was the captain of the side. A yellow card in the semi-final against Nigeria meant that Abedi Pele would miss the finals to Ivory Coast. Against Ivory Coast, then a deputy who was at the time YEBOAH was going to be the one to lead the team. According to several reports and stories in Coach Kwesi Appiah's book Leaders Don't Have to Yell, Abedi Pele gave the captaincy to Anthony Baffour. Now, Anthony Baffour was the roommate of Abedi Pele in that tournament, and he was someone who was new in the Black Stars setup. Now, Anthony Baffour led the Black Stars to the final, and YEBOAH and his coalition of supporters inside the team were not happy about that. They felt he was the one who deserves Yagola, they used to call him. The final ensued and Ghana lost on penalty. So many people attributed that as the reason why we lost the final. Abedi Pele not playing in the final was also another bother for a lot. Now, fast forward to 2020, and in an interview with GTV Sports Plus, Abedi Pele has reiterated that he has no bad blood with Yagola YEBOAH. Even though he did not give him the captain's armband, he doesn't think he has any bad blood with him. They are still on good terms. Now, the two iconic former internationals have been rumored to have fallen out over a captaincy role spanning 28 years, which ultimately cost the country the title in the 1992 African Cup of Nations against Cote d'Ivoire. YEBOAH, who was deputy to the 3-time African Footballer of the Year, was sidestepped after the armband was handed to a relatively new player, Anthony Baffour, in the final to the Ivorians. There have been widespread claims that the decision to hand the leadership role to Baffour cost the team the title, as it sparked bashing in the team. YEBOAH, a former captain of Frankfurt, opened a can of worms after revealing he was angry that he was overlooked for the undeserving Anthony Baffour to captain the team for the final in 1992. Abedi Pele was accused of being a mastermind behind the unpopular decision, a claim which has been rubbished by Tony Baffour. But Abedi Pele says he has no problem with his perceived rival. Not at all. For me, the team spirit was very good. Maybe for others, no. But for me, it was good. They announced the captaincy when we were in Portugal, and everything was okay. I never had a problem with Kwesi Appiah or Tony YEBOAH. Tony was really exceptional. You see, people were talking, but Tony has never pointed a finger to say Abedi has said something against me or said anything in the newspaper. Tony was like a brother to me. So Abedi Pele there clearing the air. He has no bad blood with Tony Powerful. Guys, let's move on from that. It's gone. We lost that final so many years ago. So my final story, it has to do with Abedi Pele, and he says that he saw something in Asamoah Gyan even before he became the hit we know him now to be. Now Asamoah Gyan has surpassed Abedi Pele as the highest goal scorer for Ghana with 51 goals in 109 matches. But Abedi Pele says he saw something in this young man when watching him earlier in his embryonic years. Soccer maestro Abedi Pele says he foresaw Asamoah Gyan's potential long before he peaked in his performance. Asamoah Gyan has done quite well. I saw him play and knew he was going to be a great player in the Black Stars. He has done very well, but he could have done more. I knew he has the ability to score wonderful goals, and immediately I saw him, I was impressed. He has a bit of Tony YEBOAH in him. So Abedi Pele there saying that Asamoah Gyan, so much potential in Asamoah Gyan in his earlier years, and felt Asamoah Gyan could have done so much better. I think he's not the only one who feels that Baby Jet Asamoah Gyan could have been something else. Yet again, if you look back at it, he was still a hit, just not the hit many people wanted. But the most important person here is Asamoah Gyan himself. He feels fulfilled in his career. He has a business running for him, and he is happy with his achievements with the Ghana Black Stars. Obviously, not winning a trophy bothers him, but being the highest goal scorer in the history of the Black Stars would be something that would delight him. So that has been it for today. Talking to you about Coach Kwesi Appiah's finally, he has heard something from the sports minister. He will be paid eventually. The sports minister has reiterated that, and Coach Kwesi Appiah's spokesperson has said they are happy to hear that. Also, I've been talking to you about Abedi Pele's admiration for Asamoah Gyan and being able to predict that he would be a great player in his later years. Also, he says that there is no bad blood between him and Tony YEBOAH, even though they had an issue with the captaincy in 1992 African Cup of Nations in Senegal. Let me know your thoughts in the comments box. I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy your day.